This question is so good. How can you hold complete openness towards your partner and still attach in a way that's necessary for true vulnerability and safety? Honestly, through non-attachment. You don't need attachment for vulnerability. You don't need to be safe with someone to be vulnerable. But we've been conditioned into believing this because we live in a society that encourages attachment. Movies and music and all of that shit has brainwashed into believing that attachment equals love. And two, you probably have some lived experience where you were vulnerable with somebody and they responded in an unsafe way. So now being vulnerable has become scary. So now you try to make sure someone is safe before you're vulnerable. I'm telling you, this is ass backwards, and I urge you to change your perspective because all it does is reinforce whatever shame you're holding on to. The shame you felt the first time someone was unsafe. This perspective keeps it active. So first, I don't believe in attachment. In fact, I teach non-attachment. It is our attachments to our feelings, to our stories, to people, to our trauma, to our shame that causes all of the suffering we experience. We don't have to assign meaning to these things. Our ego does that. Two, you can be vulnerable without attachment. If you're afraid of vulnerability, it's because you're holding on to unprocessed shame. If you process it and then release it, then when somebody tries to shame you, you know without a doubt that they are projecting their unprocessed shame because you've reconciled yours. You no longer feel bad about it, so nobody can make you feel bad about it. If you still feel bad about it, then you haven't processed it. You have developed self-safety when you no longer shame yourself for the things that other people shame you for because you have learned self-compassion and unconditional self-love. You realize that people's reaction to your vulnerability is a reflection of them, their trauma, of their emotional intelligence, of their empathy. Their reaction has nothing to do with you. Therefore, I can be vulnerable because I want to see how safe you are, and I don't need to get attached to your safety because I have self-safety. When you unpack your shit, you know how safe you are.